Come on. All right. We are live. What's going on, Jennifer
Good morning,
Lacey?
Dizzy. How are you? How was your week?
Oh my goodness. You know what? This week was, you ever have those weeks where it's like just back to back to back
Yes.
awesomeness? And then there's the crash after like
Yes.
awesomeness. That was my week. I got to do two time management workshops, virtual workshops with some really good professionals out there, some that are repeat offenders on the live stream. And then I got to do a session on constraint management systems with ACOM Hunt, which was ultra awesome
Yes.
for me because the group was like, there's all the indicators that I look for a team to deploy sustainable change. It was all apparent on the call. So it was awesome. How about you,
No,
Jennifer Lacey?
it's been a week. I've had some house projects that I've been working on, and then Alex had her wisdom teeth taken out. So just been doing mama stuff a little bit more.
Mama stuff. And you're getting ready for like a birthday party, aren't you?
We are this evening. We have a kind of a birthday bash tonight, and so
Yeah.
yes, it'll be. It's St. Patty's Day theme, so it's kind of a fun. Not really. I mean, it's birthday, but it's also people get to come and do St. Patrick's stuff, so it'll be fun.
What I like about the way you decorate is you use like the shamrocks, but you make them all red to connect with Valentine's Day.
Oh, I thought we were done with Valentine's. We're past that. Why are you even bringing it up?
You know, I can't help myself. Holy moly, we got some early risers already, Jen. Look, we got Steve.
Good morning,
Martin.
Steve.
He says, no BS team. Good morning, coming in from Connecticut. Then we got DJ Hootie Hoots, and we already know he's in Florida because we got to talk to him yesterday on the cultivation crew.
Yes.
And we got Miss Linda Clark, repeat offender, who don't play. Linda, I think you're going to like today's topic.
Yes.
So I'm ready for you to bring the heat, my sister.
Yes.
And I know we got lurkers and new people that have never seen us before. And so this thing, are you actively recruiting or waiting for someone else to fix it? Is that like a cryptic question, Jen? What do you think?
Well, one, it came from some of our previous conversations. So just like most of our topics do. And also some things that happen outside the live stream, whether it's our social media or other places we go, or even people that we interact with. They're like, we need to dig a little more into this because we've been doing this for 4 years, Jesse. So we did have some earlier conversations that were a little more pointed. And now I think we're kind of going to dig a little deeper into what are you doing intentionally?
Yes. And so, folks, you already know we're going to dig into it and to add a little bit more color to what Jen just said. From my perspective, I'm here to transform the construction industry. I want to leave it better than I found it, and the world too, but I'm really focused on the construction industry. I can't do it alone. And so I need to surround myself, build the team, recruit some ballers to make that happen so that it sticks long term. And that's what I'm like today. That's where I'm coming from. So I may be a little grouchy, come across a little rough today, but that's the damn point. But before we get into it, Jen, we got some housekeeping.
Okay. Yes, some housekeeping. Okay. So good morning to everyone out there listening. And Gary, I'm talking to you too, because that sounds like you haven't been here before. So those of you that are out there listening, where you just ran across us for the first time, or you do show up, but you don't really engage with us because that's not your thing. Or you are a repeat offender and you just haven't really contributed to the conversation. I'm talking to everybody out there because we don't know you're there unless you comment. We're asking you, if you're not ready to divulge any of your secrets yet, then if you can just drop a blue heart in the comments, it just lets us know that, number one, your first time here, so that we can recognize you and show you our appreciation. But it also helps our No BS tribe that, to connect with you and connect with your content and know that there's other people out there that are trying to get better. So anytime you drop a comment, drop a heart, drop anything into the feed, it also enters you into a drawing, the randomizer at the end of the show, and just see what do they get when they win.
Yeah. So when you leave your comments, your blue hearts, your questions, your wisdom in the chat,
Mhm.
that gets your name automatically entered into the randomizer. And when we do at the top of the hour, we'll run the little raffle. And if your name gets selected, you will get free 1 month free entry into the Cultivation Crew and Emotional Bungee Jumpers, which are two experiences designed to help reinforce, build, boost like gangsta OG leadership skills. And when I say leadership skills, I mean the keys to connect in very deep and meaningful ways with other human beings.
Yes.
So be like Sandy and drop a heart.
Good morning. Good morning. We don't even care what
Sandy.
color heart. Any color heart's fine.
It doesn't right. It don't matter if it's red, blue, or good. Fantastic. Thank you, Sandy. Folks, y'all already know that means Sandy's down to connect. Hit them up on the LinkedIn if you're on the LinkedIn. We got Gary coming in from YouTube land. He says, what is this? Gary, this is straight up awesomeness.
Yes,
if you can handle it. And then we got Miss Carrie. Do you know her, Jen?
Hello, Carrie.
Miss Carrie Graham. She's a what up peep. She's coming in from Atlanta, I think. And then Miss Haiti Clark, she says, hola, what's going on? She's like making waves right now. Hey, thanks for coming, and keep bringing your wisdom. Just like we said earlier. Oh, look, we got Enjoy 123 says hi, hello. And apparently Daddy knows Daddy. Mr. Hoots knows Sandy. I let it out. Now they know, Adam. So keep them coming, folks. Again, if you don't know, the meat, the super deep value of these conversations is really based on the contribution of the No BS tribe. So again, your questions, your insights, etc., are what make this thing keep going. And so we got more comments. Okay, we're gonna do some more comments and then we're gonna jump into it. Okay. So Christopher Moody, what's up? He said, it's been a while for me, but I am a pay it forward person and happy to share anything about talent acquisition you might like to know. Okay, good. We're gonna have a little spin on it, but Chris, I'm pretty sure it'll click with you.
Yes.
And oh look, we got Enjoy says, where are we from? Well, I'm from San Antonio, Texas. That's where I'm from. And some people say I'm from outer space. And Jen, you said what?
Dallas.
Jen is in Dallas, Texas. And we are in the Omniverse currently. So I'm just going to throw the first question up there.
Do it.
All right. Question number 1. What is one quality you look for in prospects? Now, Jen, some people might be thinking like, when they're hiring people to work at is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, like the recruitment for a new hire. You can put that in your head, but that is not specifically what we are speaking to. And so a little context, Jesse introduced this kind of thought process early on in an earlier show, and then we've kind of, we evolved into the conversations around it. But for him, he kind of has a board of directors or kind of a council that he has handpicked that is kind of his own personal board of directors or his own personal council that he has chosen to be the people that help direct him, help give him feedback, help challenge him, he's done that intentionally so that he knows, am I on the right path? Am I not on the right path? But it's not just the people that you want to pick because they're going to answer things the way you want them answered. They're not just people that are like, they make me feel good and they make me feel like I'm doing that's not what we're talking about. And you may have those people around you, and that's fine because we all like to feel good every once in a while. But we are talking about that hand-selected group. And I know for me, it's never more than 5. People can come and go, but it's usually around 5 that you call when you got something in your head and you're trying to get it worked out, or you call to run something by them, or they're around you enough to where they can call you out. They can challenge you. They can give you feedback that sometimes doesn't feel so good. And so who are those people? And if you don't have them, or if you do, but you kind of had to hand select them, what is the quality? That's where this question comes from. That you in your mind go, they have to be this, or they have to have this for them to even be considered, to even make it to the second interview, whatever that is. What is that quality?
I like that. And I'm going to add, like, the words I use is my advisory council.
There you go.
Right?
Yes.
Personal advisory council. Mm-hmm. And what's I think helpful to me, I know, is the criteria or the quality I look for in people that are going to be in that really inner circle that I'm going to, leverage, is also the criteria I use for the broader team that I need to build to transform the universe. And like you said, I'm not, or maybe you touched on this, but I want to point out, like, I'm not talking about the co-conspirators, the accomplices that are going to tell me what I want to hear when I get dumped and say, oh, it's her loss, you're so good and she doesn't know what she had. No. That's not helpful for me to grow and develop and become the promise I'm intended to be. Yep. That kind of person, it feels good. So I'll let them in every now and then for a little bit of time, but that kind of support keeps me stuck. Mm-hmm. I'm looking for people that are going to help me say, okay, let's status check. How we doing? What the hell are we going to do to continue moving the ball forward? That is kind of the overarching, we'll say, demographic that I'm looking for. Does that sound fun, Jen?
Yes, it absolutely does. Do you have a quality? I mean, I know you said, you kind of talked through not accomplices, not as Linda puts, the ass kicking squad versus the cheerleader squad. Like,
Linda straight up said it. Yes.
And I'm usually not. Sometimes there's some carryover, right? But you have a couple that that are right there leading and pushing and challenging you, but also are your biggest fans and will just make you feel valued. But every once in a while, you got people that are in different groups. And so do you have a quality that you look for?
Me? Absolutely. The number one quality that will catch my attention, that is like a prerequisite, and also the thing that it's a term of employment, right? Like if you stop doing it, you're off the team, is action. Like, I like to keep it simple because I know a lot of people and I know a lot of really freaking smart people, but not all of them take action. They spend a lot of time pontificating and debating and deliberating and, sharing opinions and ideas. And there's value there. But in terms of like my inner circle, my advisory council, the number one thing is action. What is the distance between idea and action? The ones that have a nice short distance, those are my type of people, because I know they are not scared of learning by taking action and maybe fumbling and tripping and getting sideways on some things. And because they learn quicker through iteration, I get to source that knowledge, that insight, and there's just a big, deep pool of that. So that's my number one, Jen. How about you?
Well, it's funny because I thought through this question and my default, I went, oh, they have to be kind. But then I was like, oh, wait a minute, Jennifer, because I have to deal with some grumpy people. Like, I have to deal with people that sometimes are not they're not having the great day. They see me coming and they're like, oh, great, it's Jennifer today. So then I was like, okay, so they I wouldn't label them as kind because just of their personality and things like that. So I'm like, okay, Jennifer, go deeper. What is it? It is they authentically care. And so they can be challenging me. They can not even agree with me. But I can see by their work and by the way they show up and by the way they engage with people consistently that they care. And for me, those are the people that I need to be reflecting for me, because that's how I show up. And so I think there's a parallel to where what you're looking for in that advisory board you don't want everybody that looks exactly like you, but that core theme, that core mission, that purpose, there has to be some shared alignment in that. Else there's going to be some, some things that maybe are not what you're trying to do. So that to me is they authentically care, and they show up the same in all the places that I see them, that they're not, they're in this room, they act this way, and they kind of do this, and then they're in this room and they do this. Like those are people that I know people do that. They're just not people I'm gonna rely on to help me grow.
Yeah. It's interesting. I think I do it a little twisted, because you already know I'm twisted. Like my advisory council it's never the same people, and they don't have to be aligned with like my mission.
Okay.
What I'm looking for is people, like when I select somebody, it's because they have an experience level, a body of work that I need to build on. It's a gap that I have that I want to reinforce. And so I find those people, and then I'm a leech. I just suck what I can out of them as I need. And once I'm happy, like, okay, you're still on the team, the A team, but not necessarily the advisory council. Because for me, it's a totally selfish perspective. I'm trying to build and learn and grow in specific areas. And so somebody can be really mean and rude and ugly and not care about or have nothing to do with the construction industry. But there are some things, some skills that they clearly have a command of, and I'm okay with that. Now, when it comes to like my team of ass kickers, like Linda said, we're going to go change things, that's a different criteria. Like, we got to be aligned. Like for real. If you don't appreciate the men and women that are doing the work out there, you are not on the team. You might be on the advisory council on a temporary basis. But I have that. Is that weird? Does that muddy
it's not weird, but it made me think as you're answering it and maybe I do that, but maybe I'm a little more selective, because I've realized when I do surround myself with high performers, I'm just going to label them that. When they're high performers, even if they are not completely aligned with my mission, they also suck the crap out of me. If there's not some alignment of caring for people, caring for the people doing the work, eliminating hard work, being kind, like things that I live for, if there's not some piece of that in them, if I can't see it, and sometimes it's just how they show up, or they show up differently and they don't do it the same way. But if there's not something there like that, a lot of times when I'm like, ooh, I see value here, but because when you start engaging with me, you're not getting a little sliver, you're getting everything. I need more of that. I need more of that. And then it drains me. And so I have to be super careful to be aware of it, and also go, okay, I see what I can bring value here, but also what they can help me with. But is it worth it? Is it worth what I'm losing to be able to gain what they're giving me? So it's a little different perspective than yours, but I can completely see going in, because you want to surround yourself with better people. Like that's what it comes down to. You want to be around people that are doing things and that have skills that you don't have, because then you're going to be able to grow and get better. But sometimes you're also the other person that has a skill that they want.
True. And we got to protect it,
and not getting so far down a road where you just feel like you are completely depleted, and it's not reciprocal. I think that's the other, is that it's a reciprocal thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. There's got to be some exchange in terms of contributing to each other's path. Mm-hmm. And so a more clear way for me to say that is I've had plenty of people in my life. They're still there, but they want to coach me and advise me, whether I asked for it or not. But they are not open to any other thoughts or challenges or questions. And I'm like, oh, you're not on the team. Like, you can sit on the bleachers, but you're not going to get on the field, right? Yep. So we got some answers out there.
Okay, good. Let's go.
Mr. Christopher Moody says, number one quality is passion. Yes, right. Chief Marketeer Steve Martin says, prospects with a mindset of we can improve. That's a good one.
That is that's a big one.
Right. Like do you remember Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh?
Of course.
Right. It's always raining on me. Like, I ain't got time for that. Like, yes, life's hard. Yes, it's not fair. Freaking, what are you gonna do about it, man? Like, I need that passion and that.
Yeah, we are not half glasses, half empty people. Just
right. 100%. Lucery says, I would look for preparedness. Did the person do the homework, the research before touching the specific points? Okay, so she's looking.
Can I respond to this? So, Lucery, yes. I love this answer. And I also know that if that is like a do or die thing, like Jesse may not be in your circle because
hell no.
Well, that's when I read it. I love that. That's like she's like these are the people I need around me that I know that they're bought in. They've done some work. But I also my first thought was like Jesse would drive her crazy because one, he drove me crazy early on because I needed all the boxes checked. I needed to know all the plan, all the agenda, what's the outline, what are all the things. Like I will own that. And I lived that way for a long time. Part of my growth was Jesse being on my advisory council and helping me not need to be overly prepared. And so that was a cool, when I saw it, I'm like, oh, I used to be that person. And it's not bad, but I know part of the growth is that everything doesn't have to be scripted and that you can go with the flow because of your body of work. It's so strong and you have so much to pull from that you don't have to have a super structured plan. Yeah.
Well, and I'll add that the fact that she's clear, like they got to do their homework, be prepared. Like that's.
Yes.
I want to say like, it doesn't like, I'm not trying to tell people you should use my filters. No. What I'm saying is have your freaking know what the hell they are.
Yes. And don't get mad, but don't get mad also when like you're like, oh, Jesse's supposed to be on my advisory council and he doesn't get it. He doesn't understand it. Like, and again, I am owning that is what I had to deal with early on. I'm like, you are not doing it the right way. Jesse, like, get this shit figured out. And it took a while for me to like have to understand that, oh, that's what he's bringing to me. Like he's bringing another perspective and he can own it or not own it, but it has completely changed the way I show up like over the last 3 or 4 years because I had someone in my circle that did not think things through exactly the way I did.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'll own it. I remember the first conversation, Jen, 3 hours. First time we ever had a conversation. I knew at the end of the call, I was either going to drive you crazy or I was going to help you get flexible. Like it was one or the other, and it always is. So, again, I kind of know where my strengths are. Mr. Christopher Johnson, repeat offender. He was on the after party last time. He says, give and get.
Reciprocal.
Absolutely, right? Yeah. That reciprocal propulsion, baby. There's power there. Look, we got a newcomer. Rega Shima says, hi, I'm from Indonesia. One of my parents' father is from Japan. Awesome. International, baby. I like this. Linda, of course, she says character. They got to have character. I think this probably has to go on my list because I never considered it. Or maybe, I never like thought about it. But like if people are vanilla and plain it, like saying the right things so that they don't cause any friction, like I never thought about it before, but that's almost an immediate disqualifier for me. Like,
but his character, I want to ask Linda, character to me also is like, it can be like you're a character like Jesse, but it also could be like character, like just the way you show up and the way that you represent, that you have a little bit of like, you're owning some things and that you're not just loosey-goosey with stuff. So I want to challenge like what specifically when she looks at people, do they have to be Jesse's or do they need to be just someone that has an internal compass? In my opinion.
Yes. Yeah. And so for my perspective, I'm looking for internal compass.
Yep.
Right. Like they don't have to be a whack job like me. It'll help. It will have a lot of fun. But no, do they have a clear direction? Do they know
Yeah.
what they're doing? Do they stand for something? For me, that's what I interpret as character. Miss Sandy said, Mr. Sandy says proactive. Hell yeah, man. That's what I like. Take action, baby. Carrie says good perspective. I think she misspelled Jesse. She said, my core actually love me and want the best for me because they love, care. They give me the hard comment even when I don't ask. I'm going to go there. These are long-term counsel. Yes. Outside of that, there are other categories. I love the categories. And I think I just kind of realized that I have different categories. But anyways, so Carrie just mentioned like people that'll give you the stinky. Is that valuable, Jen?
When they give you the stinky? If
Yeah,
you
yeah.
don't have people around you that won't say some tough things, like you're not even you're not putting yourself in a place to grow. Like and I mean, again, I learned that early, and it's even better when you have someone in your circle that is even comfortable starting the conversation with, this is going to be stinky. You want me to still go there or not? Like, again, that's like baller level of, and Jesse's really good at that. And if, after a couple of no's, you're probably not going to get the question anymore from him. But if you say yes every time, it every time will change things that you're doing and change the way that you show up.
Yeah. No, I'm with that. Like, I need people that like tell me, because you know, Jen, I'm dense as hell. Like, I think everything's great and everybody's fully satisfied with what I bring. I need to be told like maybe 10 times sometimes. So I love the stink. Like, don't tell me. I'm not going to be upset. I may not take action and adjust right away, but it will get through eventually, right? Like I think it's an ultra level when people have the courage, compassion to point out a gap that, hey, you're not showing up as your best self, or hey, like you're doing fantastic. I'll give you this real true story. And I know you've lived through this, Jen, but I'm not going to use you. I was dating a super amazing woman, and she was working on her PhD, which she's gotten since then. And they had this cohort, like her cohort, they were working on their doctorate, and then they had like the support cohort of all the significant others. And we were at a function, and they were like, there was a lot of, yay, I'm so proud of the da 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 da. And they kind of asked, like, okay, like, how is your person supporting you? And you already know I'm pretty skeptical. I don't kind of get high and low. And she said it, and I'm like, yeah, that's what I do. She's like, Jesse's not my cheerleader. Jesse's not impressed by the fact that I'm getting, like, Jesse will say, okay, great, you're getting your doctorate, but what about these things? And I don't do it to be ugly. I do it because I need that too. Because in my head, it's like I'm the greatest thing in the world. And I need people to say, okay, but what about these things? Which was really meaningful to me. Anyways, the point of that is it's kind of I don't know how or where it came from, but it's kind of my default to say, okay, or maybe recognize that when everybody around people that I care about are cheering them on, because, we have amazing people in our life. And so most of the people in there that have contact with them, they may not be on the team, but they have contact with them. Most of those people are just super impressed about how much they accomplish and all the things that they do, and how do you manage that? And you got blah, 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 right. And so it's like, oh, look at you. And I'm like, that's awesome. And what else? It's kind of my default. I don't know if it's rude or any, but I mean it with love. And I think you can substantiate that.
And well, I want to hit on a couple of things. Number one is, if you don't get a lot of people questioning or challenging you, you done some stuff to make people not feel comfortable to do that. Number one.
True.
You don't have the right people around you, but it takes some trust, Jesse, and it takes a little bit of like a little bit of running towards the danger, jumping off the cliff, like a little, there's some fear there. And I mean, there's some times, and it's the it's a lot of times we take the easy road. So like if Jesse pitches something to me and goes, here's what I'm thinking, here's what we need to do, da, 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 da. The easy road is like, Jesse, that's great. No matter what Jesse says, it's probably going to be fine. But there's also times where I'm like, have you thought about this? Or I don't like that order. Or like, is this something like, here's what I'm seeing. And he could go, Jennifer, you're not even on the same page with me. And that's okay. But like, if you're not in a place where you can have that conversation with someone,
Yes.
it's either you or them. They're either not receptive or you are the person that is not listening to what they're saying.
Yes.
And like, so I wanted to put that out there to say, like, receiving feedback, giving feedback, that's a lot of things we talk about. And I've got people making comments about the being able to receive like yucky things or things that are stinky, but also like there's times where, and I mean, I give Jesse a lot of accolades. He does a lot of things. He's helped me a lot. And there's times where he'll pitch something to me. Here's my idea. And it is a good idea and it'll probably change the world. But my brain, because I'm in his council, starts picking apart a lot of some other things. And I'm like, oh, Jesse, but what about this? He's not going, well, screw you. I'm not going to ask you anything anymore. Like there's value in the people that you choose to be around you because he knows my analytical brain will start picking things apart that maybe he didn't think about because he is a little sometimes.
Yes. I'm like, yeah, it's going to be awesome. And it's like, oh yeah, I didn't think about that. Ah, crap. Okay. Things I need to consider. One thing, and Losery kind of said this earlier, but I want to circle back to it. Which is, oh no, I love other perspectives, but we'll ask for the basis of that perspective.
Jesse, Jesse, read this book.
Oh yeah, like come on. I like the thought, but where's that coming from? In the book I think I've offended enough people or said it enough people now like, hey, I know you're not like, you don't really like getting book recommendations. I'm like, no, I do, but don't give me a book recommendation that you haven't practiced one thing out of the damn book. Like, I don't like, where's this coming from, man? Or how is this going to help me? How is this going to like, I'm not seeing the connection. Help me see the connection. And I got people in my life that we have that level of trust and appreciation where we can have that, right? Like Carrie says, my inner core, her people reach out and say, Carrie, you're effing up. What's going on? Like that's the ultimate. That is the ultimate. Now, I want to talk about the 5-year plan, Jen.
God.
Sandy says, someone that has a 5-year plan, where do you want to be in the industry? Which I can get on board with that idea for an employee. For world changing, I'm not okay with that. And I think Steve knows it because Steve says, Jesse says, Jen, you'll get your 5-year plan in 5 years. That's the plan. And you know what I think it is, Jen? It's because I have a 600-year plan that people can't really understand my 5-year plan. What do you think?
Well, and one, I value that, like, here's the plan. I think I think what has to also be a part of that is, and it can change tomorrow. Right?
Yes.
Like if you have again, we've been doing this for 4 years, Jesse. And if 4.5 or 5 years ago, when we were like 5 years, because that's Lean in Love, that's the live streams. Like if we sat out 5 years ago and said, here's the 5-year plan based on what was even in our thoughts, and like it was literally a 4-month plan. Right. And what anything that happened after that 4 or 5 months didn't exist.
Right.
And so it's, you can see the vision, you can see the big picture, you can have all the ideas. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, and you have to be willing to understand that it could change tomorrow.
Yes.
And I think that to me is the biggest part of that long-term thinking, is being flexible. And okay, I see where we can go, but we couldn't have it. We couldn't have scripted. We couldn't have written out, created an executive summary on what we're doing right now.
No, 100%. And that's why for me, my philosophy is have a direction. Yes. That internal compass. Where are you going? All the little stuff in between where I am today and where I'm going to be or where I'm headed, is not relevant because the sequence might change. And guess what? The sequence always changes. There may be an experience that I need to like double down in and spend a year or two to learn, grow, contribute. And so like the rate of how quickly I'm going to go in that direction is also, it also doesn't matter to me, because for me, and this may just be my rationalization of being a nutcase, but I know for a fact, and you helped me when you saw this firsthand, when I have a plan, I will stick to the plan no matter what. Mm-hmm. And some people have seen it. If I'm facilitating a call and we have time elements built into the call, I don't care how emotional and how real things are getting. If the next subject's supposed to start at 2:03, you bet your ass I'm gonna cut everybody off and go to 2:03. Mm-hmm. And I get like this rigidity kind of clicks on. Mm-hmm. Back to the example, you know this, my whole plan back before I started my business, like I'm gonna build my house and then start my business and eventually buy a new house. And the building of the house was going to take, like, it was dragging. It was a lot of work. It was a big pain in the butt. And you were like, Jesse, wouldn't it be easier just to buy a house and then build the house later? And I'm like, well, no, because, and you're like, why? I was like, because that's not the plan. Like, for real, my thinking was like, no, that's not the plan. And then it sounds like, well, shit, man, why don't I just flip it around and boom, here we are. So that's my excuse for like being loose with my planning. And to your point also, had we scripted out what the next 5-year plan for No BS was, I don't think it would be as fulfilling.
I don't know if it would exist, Jesse.
Right. I agree. So, but there is value to it. So we got some good stuff coming in from the comments. Sandy says, I agree tenfold. Miss Maria, what's up, Maria, my sister? Time is a social construct. We've collectively agreed to mostly. My 5-year plan has taken 8 Earth years. I like that. The Earth years, nanu. Losery says, I like goals rather than plans. I'm with that. Too many exterior factors can intervene on plans. Yep, but goals are more solid. Change the plan, keep the goal. Amen, girl. And then Miss Angel, curious idealist. What's up, sister? She says, being laid off due to reduction in force was not in my 5-year plan, but sometimes earth-shaking things happen to make you wake up and figure out what you actually want. What do you think about that, Jen?
I mean, Jesse wasn't on any of my plans. Like, I was not expecting to cross paths with him, to work with him, to get a random message from him, and then a phone call from, like, none of those were anything that I was on my radar. And what we could do together and things just how we could change things together. Like, none of that was on my plan. It was, just different circumstances, an event that we were on together, and then some live streams that we did that I didn't facilitate, he didn't facilitate. We just happened to be added into a group of people. And then he, reached out, and literally that's the only reason that we're here.
Super crazy. Fantastic. Okay. So folks, if you're just like popping in now, or this just came up on your screen, what we're talking about is like building your team, the crew that is going to help you leave the world better than you found it.
Yes.
And I'm going to add another thing, right? Like there's, you and I are in the construction industry, been here my whole career. You started there, you had a career before you got here, but you're here and you ain't going nowhere.
No.
There's a lot of work to be done out there, right? There's a lot, and there's a lot of content out there about how unfair and, the labor shortage and all these other things, which, yes, the system's kind of jacked up. But there's also a group of firms and leaders and decision makers that are making a magnificent impact. They're doing things entirely different. Mm-hmm. And so the reason this topic is so damn important to me is because I've seen that number grow and grow and grow. And I've decided to believe that supporting, cheering, surrounding myself and serving that type of person is how we transform the industry. not pointing at the problems. Everybody's pointing at the problem. That's easy. But are you taking real steps to surround yourself with people to leave this world better than we found it? That's the point of this conversation. So hopefully I ruffled some feathers with that, Jen.
Well, it's every day, every single day. It doesn't matter what happened yesterday. It doesn't matter what the plan is for tomorrow. Every single day we get to get up, we get to wake up, and we get to make a decision. We get to make a choice. We can complain, and we can point out all the things that we can't control, that we can't influence, that we can't impact, and that why things can't happen. We can do that. We get to make that choice every day. But we also get to make the choice on, here's the things I can impact. Here's the things that I can influence. And we can show up differently, even if everybody else around us is in a different state of mind. It doesn't matter. We get to choose every day how we show up.
100%. And you don't get to blame. Maybe there's a disqualifier. Well, actually, this might lead to the next question.
Okay.
And so when it comes to like the transformation, all the beautiful things that we want to do, that I want to affect into the world, there is one thing that, like, learned the hard way many years ago, that can absolutely be an anchor, meaning it's just going to weigh my ass down and I ain't going to be able to have the impact. And so I'm going to ask this question to the audience, to the No BS tribe out there in the Omniverse. What are you tolerating, or where are you tolerating the wrong people? And so summary of that, surrounding myself with the wrong people is the best way to delay the impact I want to have. What do you think, Jen?
Well, I agree. And I'm going to dig a little deeper in that. I think where I've seen either myself or other people tolerate or allow themselves to be around the wrong people is because in their mind, those people are the ones that can help them change, grow, evolve, have the new title, have the new position. And so they're not my people. They're not really the people that I would choose to be around, but this is what they can do for me. I feel, and you can put that in any context you want, that if you are putting your growth, your opportunities, everything that could happen amazing to you in someone else's hands, you are wrong. I'm just going to, because if you are relying on someone else to be able to give you that next opportunity or that next position or that next title, and I gotta tolerate, I gotta put myself in these spaces because they're the ones that can do it for me. And again, I am a recovering person that and Jesse knows, because he had to listen to so many conversations where I kept saying things and he's just like, why, and what, and how, and all the things that I had to really self-reflect. I was projecting the opportunities and projecting the power and the control and the things that they had that I needed to be able to get to that whatever next thing was. And after so many of those dang questions, I realized, like, oh crap, it's me. Like, I get to make this choice every day on how I show up, who I interact with. But I also had to own, it will also keep me out of rooms. It will also not get me invited. It will also have people a little leery and worried about how I'm going to show up. And, we're not sure because, she may do this or she may. And I had to own that. And once I got clear on what's important to me, where I need to be, and who controls my destiny. When I got clear on that, everything opened up. And now when they invite me into rooms, Jesse, I do not have to be quiet. I do not have to, I don't have to filter my words. I don't have to overthink things because they know how I'm going to show up. So it's like, but it took me, it didn't take anybody else. Oh, they're keeping me down. They're not giving me the opportunity. That's not on them.
Right.
And that to me is where that's just where people tolerate the wrong people because they think those people control what's next for them.
Okay. I'm with you 100%. So for the folks, this is questions for you, Jen, and folks out there in the Omniverse, like for real, if you know the answer to this question, let us know because you're not the only one. But a lot of us tolerate the wrong people, and keyword tolerate. Like we just kind of we just, it's not that bad. It's okay. But man, I'm telling you, that's an anchor. Now, what you just said, Jen, that doesn't happen. Like the clarification of getting invited into other rooms and the right people being attracted to you. That's what I'm hearing you're talking about, like how attracting those people. What did you have to change in yourself to create the conditions to attract the right people?
Well, a couple of things. One is I had to be willing to like, I had an idea of what I wanted. And I had to be willing to go, that may not be the plan. And that to me was hard because, again, I kind of had my idea of what I thought I wanted or what I thought I needed, but I had to be willing to go, and if that doesn't work out, guess what? We'll figure it out. They may be something else. That's scary because it's easy when you have comfort and security and things like that. So I had to own, like, as much as I see this and I see what it could be, they may never see it. And if they don't see it, then I can't keep waiting for someone else to give me that opportunity. The other piece of it is it took a lot, and I'm going to say a lot, of self-reflection, because all of us, I don't care who you are, where you are in your life, your positions, your all the relationships, we are conditioned from early on. I mean, childhood, we are conditioned for certain things. And we just default to those things until we unlearn them. And we only unlearn things when we are around people that challenge us and we are around people that call it out. And then they check up. Okay, you said this. You said you were going to work on this. Hey, you're Jesse, I'm going to tell you, and I can reference Jesse because he's the one I talk to the most out of anyone. Okay, you've complained about that 3 times. What are you going to do about it? You're complaining about that person, even though I know they're not dictating your path. This is the 3rd time you've complained about this. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to change? Are you going to have a hard conversation? Are you going to stop having the conversations with them? Like right now, it is mental brain power that you are putting in to what you're dealing with in that relationship. What are you going to do about it? And I'm telling you, self-reflection. Like, I don't know how else to say that more times. It took a lot of self-reflection to have to own some stuff that it was on me. Like, as much as, Sean says this, it's no matter what you're dealing with, you have to own at least 1% of it. 1% of it, at least, you contributed to, and you are causing it. And when you can own 1%, I'm going to tell you, then you're going to own 2% and 3% and 4%. I mean, you're going to start realizing, like, I'm making this choice and I'm making this decision, and then I'm complaining and crapping about it. So,
I love it. I think thank you for like adding the clarity so people can oh, okay. Because yes, this is 100% introspective question, right? If you got an answer, drop it. Mm-hmm. But where are you tolerating the wrong people? Because we do that a lot. Dr. Carey says, damn, this question, I'm ruffled good. Because we do talk. I mean, there was a time where, to speak to the point you made on like the conditions and how that changes our behavior and all the things. And the fact that we have been conditioned means we can design the situation to produce a different condition. It's not like most of us are just, there was a period of time where I just was like a victim of my circumstances. Like, why is this happening to me? And then I'm like, yeah. And then I'm like, wait a minute, I could change this. And so for me, like, where was I tolerating the wrong people? There was a period of time where I surrounded myself or found myself surrounded, because I wasn't doing it intentionally. I found myself surrounded by people that had a lot of opinions and a lot of expectations that I was contorting myself to fit in so that they could like me, right? I'm just keep it simple. The problem with that was I showed up as a diluted, a smaller version of myself because I wanted, in my head, I believed that like that was necessary. Mm-hmm. And then when I started saying, you know what, I've been trying like hell to fit this mold that these people care about or think is best for me or they want from me. and this sucks.
Mhm.
I'm just going to be as much of me as I possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, those people with all the opinions and expectations, they were disappointed. Your potential. I'm like, okay, fine, but you're not contributing anything over here
Mm-hmm.
except for your judgment.
Yep.
And you don't get a vote anymore.
Say it again, Jesse. You're not contributing anything except for your judgment.
Yep. And so it was that, like, you get to judge me when you offer me a pathway forward.
Mm-hmm.
Because I need to understand, okay, like, obviously I don't know how to do that. What's the pathway? And then I get to discern whether that is in alignment with what I actually want or not. You don't just get to judge me, right? Like, I mean, you do, but it don't mean nothing to me anymore. And so it was that, right? Like, there was a period of time we got some good answers. Miss Heather Ormond Lead, she says we tolerate it with family. And I'm going to say, not we, Heather, because I don't. Right? Like, I know there's an argument out there about, or some mistrust about people that say the company's a family, and they're like, no, they're not, because you would be compassionate with your family. No, I won't. I won't. Like, I've learned that there's got to be some distance between people, the energy vampires that aren't contributing, that have opinions and etc. I know it's coming from a place of love, but it is not contributing to my path. So you are suspended, right? I'm writing you up, 3-day suspension, conform. If you don't conform, I'm putting you on a PIP. And at the end of that PIP, partner, like, performance plan, you may be let go. Anyway, that's me.
I like that, and you don't have it highlighted yet, but Lucery makes a point, and we can bring it up in a minute. But sometimes you tolerate people because other people have to learn, and so
yes.
and in her context is with kids, and like, yep. I have teenage daughters, and there's things that I see that I'm like, oh, I see where this is going, and I have to, as a parent, tolerate some things because I need my kids to learn it instead of being savior, and instead of being the one that comes in and lays down the law. Like, and this, it's easier when I say it in the kids' time, but there's times where we're like, they're going to have to figure it out, and this is going to suck.
Yeah. No, and I love that. Lucery says, right, sometimes I tolerate my kids' friends who are not real friends for their sole purpose of them to learn to surround themselves with the right ones. And I totally get that. But I just want to bring some clarity. Who do you tolerate?
Yes.
In your circle,
yep.
right? That's I understand the other part, right?
You get to choose. Say it out loud. I get to choose.
Yep.
Like, there's nothing in this world that dictates. I don't care what position, what company, what role. It does not matter. Every day you get to choose the people that you surround yourself with, that you listen to. Yes.
And whether you're intentionally listening or not, that shit is penetrating your force field. Maya says there are certainly work environments that create that tolerating behavior. Back to the choice. I know it is true. And this is where it gets scary. And I get to leave if I want to, or when I'm ready to. It's probably the more appropriate way to think about it. Now I understand finances and all the other thing. That's not a real easy decision for a lot of us to make. But I know for damn sure there was a period in my career when I had like a real job. I'm like, oh, these are the type of people I don't want to work around. This is the type of leader I'm only going to work for. And I started making my decisions based on that. And it was a dramatically different outcome. And it helped me operate from a perspective of like, this is the minimum expectation that I will allow in terms of like my experience with that team or whatever, with the job. And when I don't get it, it's up to me to fix it or freaking change the environment, leave, right? I know that's hard, but it's.
I think we tolerate, Jesse, a lot because we're not willing to get uncomfortable and have hard conversations. I think
agreed.
Like we tolerate and we just, oh, it's the situation. Oh, it's the environment. Oh, it's because they're my boss, or, oh, it's because the job that they have me doing. Like, and we're around people all the time. That's like, this is the corner they put me in, or this is the role that they put me in. And it's super uncomfortable and maybe a little scary to push back or to challenge or to go or to have that conversation that could end not great, but it could also just, speaking from experience, it can completely change the direction of where you're going, because if you've never had the hard conversation, they don't know.
Yes. Yeah. And that's the thing. Most of us are surrounded by people that aren't going to point out. And so you're like the emperor with no clothes. Ain't nobody telling you. And you're out there dingle dangling around like, come on, man, we got to help our people. All right. So we got some good, man. We haven't even got to the question, Jen.
I know. Come on.
So we got Martha says, having a supportive community holds accountability on self. We need accountability for growth. Martha L. Amen. Thank you, sister. Thanks for showing up. This like self-reflection. And I love that she points out, right? Self-reflection is key at any stage in life. We all go through difficulties. And I'll add that self-reflection wasn't like a major practice of mine until we'll say the last 10 years. Early on in my, my life, it was just doing. And I think what helped me do the reflection to understand where am I tolerating people that are not contributing, etc., was because I started building the practice of pausing to evaluate, to think, to introspect. And so maybe for folks out there, they're like, what the hell are y'all talking about? Maybe you need to slow down, then stop the doing and do some reflection to really get a sense of what's going on. And like you said, Jen, like we all get to choose. And I'll say it another way. If the life you're experiencing right now is not what you want, consider that the results that you're experiencing, the outcome that you're living right now, are the result of a perfectly designed system to produce the stinky thing, which means you can change the system. Like the system you're in may or may not have been intentionally built by you. You can change it. I know that's scary, like, oh, system, I mean, I'm trying to lose weight. I still got the chins here, right? The extra layer. Well, you know what? When I put stuff in the system, this is the outcome. Until I change what I put into the system, I'm going to continue having the extra chins. Like it's that simple.
It's how you show up. It's how you show up. It's how you show up. It's how you show up every single time. My plan was not to be in a place to where I could impact an industry and I could speak and people are going to listen. And I'm in rooms with people of all ages and titles, and they value what I say. It was how I showed up in a room, in a conversation, at a project, on one, I'm saying, like it's the things that build to get you that big. Like you're not going to show up and everyone's going to listen to you, but if you're planting those seeds along the way, and then all of a sudden, I'm just going to tell you, you're going to walk in a room and everyone's looking at you, ready to hear what you have to say. Like that's what happens.
100%. And Chris said, yes, the Matrix.
yes.
And unfortunately, we all don't have a world full of Jessies. Sorry, y'all. But I do have some availability. I am available to. All right. So we got 2 more comments I'm going to throw up, and then we're going to do the randomizer.
Yes. And so if you want to get in the randomizer, just comment. Doesn't matter what it is, to anything that Jesse and I are talking about.
Yes. And so Steve Martin says, positive self-reflection, tolerating yourself when you're interrogating the process of where you went wrong. I'm messy, I'm imperfect, I make mistakes, but I'm worth it. Yeah, I agree with the interrogation. And yeah, I'm imperfect. I make mistakes. I'm flawed. I'm human. So I need to give myself grace.
Right? I like that. Who are you tolerating? I tolerate myself. Like yes. I allow myself to kind of navigate without being challenged and without really thinking about, is this the right thing? I like that.
Yep. Oh, I like this. This is my brother Ernest. He says, perhaps we don't, he's very polite, right? Perhaps we don't always get to choose who to surround ourselves with. If I wanted to have diplomats, CEOs, and Olympians at my dinner table, can't dial their numbers. There's facts in what he just said. Now, I think Maria is the one who said it earlier, right? This construct of time, like if I want that right now, I can't pick up my phone and make that happen. But I can start taking steps to create the conditions for that outcome to happen at some point in the future. And for me, that's the difference, right? Mm-hmm. It's not, I mean, we've heard this, there's so many freaking flowery quotes about it, right? It's not the destination. It's right. Where does all the amazing stuff that's helped me grow and contribute happen? It doesn't happen when I get to the table with the Olympians and the CEOs. It happened on figuring out how to get that cohort of people to be interested enough to be on my call list, to be in my phone. The possibility of that actually happening is very low, but on the path, there's going to be, I'll say, a higher caliber of people or a group of folks that have tremendous rich depth to contribute to me. And so it's about taking the steps. Like I think that's where I'll end it because I'm just rambling now. What do you think, Jen?
And absolutely. And an example recently is we know Jason Schroeder, and I mean, he's very impactful, written a lot of books, does a lot of things. He's a friend of ours, and just putting the work in and having the conversations and showing up, and he knows you, he knows he knows each of us, knows, and he respects us, and we've been on his podcast and things like that. And someone needed to get a hold of him to invite him to be a part of an event we were having. And I got people at a lot of high levels that have a lot of titles. They had no relationship. They had no connection to him. And I was the connector. And it was just putting the time in to where, like, going back to Ernest's comment, like, yeah, you may not be able to just pick up a phone and call, but if you put the time in and you make the choices, there's going to be a point to where you're the person that gets somebody to somebody else's table. I mean, just things like that there's value in that. Because then now you've done a favor, you've done something for someone else, and now they're a person that you can call. So it's like I call, like we collect people, and we say that all the time, and not in a weird way, but we collect people because the more that we do things and we show up authentically in these spaces, we are then now having access to these people to ask them questions, to invite them to dinner, things like that.
100%, 100%. Okay, I'm gonna put Angel Curious Idealist comment here, and then I'm going to jump to the randomizer because I think we need to go here. So she says there are a lot of rooms out there and a lot of paths to get to those rooms. How do you recommend finding the rooms you're meant to be in? And I have an answer for this, but I ain't going to answer it yet. But I want to come back to that one, Jen.
Great question.
Solid. All right. So it is now time for the randomizer. And so for all the folks that dropped the comment and dropped an emoji, etc., your name is in the hat. We are going to do the randomizer. If your name gets selected, you will get a 1-month pass to Emotional Bungee Jumpers and Cultivation Cruise so that you can build your skills to connect and serve in super deep and meaningful ways. And here we go.
Okay.
Look at that. Oh, James got in just in time. Let's see. Who's it going to be? Oh.
I think you need to redo it. I think we're going
to do that again.
We're going to do another one.
Adam Hoots is already a part of the crew, a part of that experience, has been a major contributor to it. For a long time now. So we're drawing again. One more again. Let's see. I like the way it just shows everybody's pictures and stuff. I think that's awesome. Who is it?
Yeah.
Maria Martin. Okay, Maria. I think she's already part.
Is she?
Well,
Maybe
yeah,
we just haven't seen her in a while.
yeah, we haven't. Okay, so that's the reminder, Maria. She's got to come back, or maybe I need to update your email address. We'll connect and get that figured out. So bam, that was the randomizer, folks. And you already know your comment, your contribution to the conversation is how you get in the deal. Now, man, I feel bad because there's a lot of great comments that we're not going to be able to touch on, but we could touch on them in the after party.
Okay.
So I'll be putting that link up here in a little bit, but I'm going to go back to Angel's deal.
Yes.
Lots of rooms out there, lots of paths. How do we recommend finding the rooms you're meant to be in? And so I have an answer, Jen. I know you have an answer, and I'm sure the No BS tribe has an answer. So if you don't mind, Jen, what is your answer to that question?
So there's a couple of them. One is, if you're fighting to get in the room, if you're killing yourself just to be able to get in the room and have a seat in the corner so that you can say you're in the room, to me, that's a sign for me. Like, it may not be a room I need to be in. There's that. And then that's a high level. The other is, and we just got through talking about this yesterday in our cultivation crew conversation, because we're talking about leadership buy-in. How do you get leadership, organizational leadership buy-in? This is going to be a little hard. If you are in places, in meetings, in groups, in somewhere where you're getting invited into a room, or you're trying to, I need to be in that room. When you're in that space, whether it's a meeting room or a virtual call, there's a challenge here. If you show up and you can make the choice that I'm not gonna speak or add anything to this room unless someone asks me to. If you can go the whole meeting or the whole call and no one ever spoke your name, it may not be a room you need to be in. And for me, and it's an easy filter for me because I have a lot of things on my calendar. So if you're in a room that, man, I'm finally here. I got a seat in the corner. I'm not really at the big table yet, but I'm in the room and I worked hard to get here. And when you leave and there was nothing you were able to add to that room, I'm just going to tell you, like, that for me, that's a filter. That's not a room that I should be in. And it's not helping me. And if anything, it's wasting my time. So those are, again, high level, but those are filters for me. I'm in a little different place in my career, but I cannot fight to be in a room. If I'm fighting to be in a room, it's wasting my time. Like, if I'm not invited in, like, Jennifer, we need you in here. Please come in here. Like, if that's not the environment that's created. And then once I am invited in, if I'm in the room and at the end of the meeting, if I wasn't there, it wouldn't have changed anything. Then that's not a room I need to be in.
Love it. Love it.
Those are my filters.
No, I think it's powerful. And I think for me, the key to what you said is, I can't be in the rooms I really want to be in if I'm in rooms that I'm undervalued and underappreciated. Like, yes. I got to pick, man. I got to pick. And the more times I'm somewhere that, I'm present, right, and I get credit for being in the room, the fewer at-bats I get to be in the rooms that I want to be in, right? And so back to Angel's. Oh, where did I think
she's like, what if, because of her situation, I'm still trying to figure out what rooms that I'm going to tell you, just start going in rooms and seeing how it feels and what feels right and what doesn't feel right. That will get you closer to being like, here's the criteria. And you'll go into rooms and go, nope, this ain't my thing. I don't like this. Or I'll go in and go, ooh, this feels good. This feels like this is something that can add to, to what's important to me. Like, I think you got to start just putting yourself in those positions to see, to see which ones are worth it.
100%. Yeah. And so I want to applaud Curious Idealist for the vulnerability and like the real shit that she's bringing, right? It's like, based on the layoff, she's kind of reassessing everything, if that makes sense. It totally makes sense, my sister. And I'll say two things. And this is what I did, right? And for like history for people that don't know, I connected with Angel or the Curious Idealist on Clubhouse back when Clubhouse was a thing. Um, and that was a result of me letting my crazy out so that people, it was more about how do I signal to my people that I'm here than it was me going to find people or find the rooms, right? And so by giving myself permission to be more of me, the algorithms, the feeds started putting different things in front of me. I said, oh, that seems interesting. Maybe that's a room. Let me go. Okay, nah, these people are full of crap. I'm out. Oh, wait, these people are real. There's some substance here. Let me spend some more time here. And so, like you said, a lot of it was like, let's just taste test everything. And then it started getting clear, like, okay, I like this. I don't like this. I like more of this. Let me do more of this. And eventually I was able to like get super clear. And it took a while of like, okay, these are the types of folks, the energy, whatever, that I thrive in, that help me and that I can contribute to. But it started with me letting people, like letting the omniverse know that I'm here. Right. And so what that does, like the key was being as much of me as I possibly could. Right. So there's some comfort level and all that. And the more I spoke the way I like to speak, and the more I created posts with freaking grammar errors, because I don't care about that, it helped people decide for me. Like I didn't have to, like they end up doing a lot of the filtering for me because they're like, oh yeah, that guy's a clown. We don't want him. Or like, oh, Jesse's real. Like all the things that people have said to me. I'm like, yes, okay, good. So this is where I need to go. And so it's kind of like, okay, I don't know, let's just go. Do I like Chinese food, Mexican food, Italian food? Like, I don't know. Let me go to the different restaurants. Oh, I really, really like Italian food. Okay, let me find more Italian restaurants. And then I get to say, okay, comparatively speaking, within this style of food, I really like these specific things. And so I was able to like scope down and get clearer about what rooms I wanted to be in and what type of people. But the key was for me being more vulnerable and sharing more of myself out there, because that signaled to people that are in those rooms that, hey, that dummy might be a good fit for our room. Now, over the years, it's become a different, like it's kind of flipped. Now I'm like, I'm not necessarily, I know exactly what I'm looking for most of the time. And I just pick. And another thing that like for real, that I know to be true, or maybe I just haven't figured out another way. There are some rooms that I really want to be in, and the only way to get in is to pay money. And I'm okay with that. And that has been transformative. In some cases. At the same time, when I started deciding I'm going to put some money into this, not just, show up for free stuff, there were a lot of them that I'm like, oh, this sucks. Like I paid for this. This is bullshit. But that was part of the path for me to figure out what are the signals, what are the indicators where it would be a good financial investment for me to put time to be in the room with these types of people. It's a learning thing. But again, it all started from me giving myself permission to be more of me. And that signaled to the omniverse, hey, if you're looking for this flavor of crazy, I got it. Let me know and let's connect. What do you think about that, Jen?
Yes, Jesse. And so I love that. And I think just, and she gives value that this room is a room that she loves to be in. And maybe, Jesse, this could be possibly a follow-up topic for a live stream on how do you choose the rooms you want or need to be in. That can I feel like we've touched on that a little bit here as we've wrapped up today. So anyway, we'll see. Watch out.
Love it. Oh, look, Martha says, beautifully said, help others. Introductions are needed. No gatekeeping. Amen, sister. Like for real, that's what we're about. Like, come on, play. You get to decide if you don't want to go, and I'll let you know if you were out of form in an effective way. Yes. So I already dropped the links, Jen, for the after party. They're all out there, folks. So y'all know. Again, thank you all for everything like contributed to the
Yes.
conversation today. I'm a little sad that I wasn't able to bring everybody's comments on, but appreciate the contribution. Please come to the after party, because the after party is where we get to learn what
Listen
you
to
got,
you.
with this, how we did, what we could do better. And also that conversation will inform what the next show is going to be on. So
Yes.
I appreciate you guys. And Jen, I know your birthday's coming. Did you said we are going to check out with the mariachis, right?
Okay. Sure, I'm gonna let you kick it off.